boys and girls, it's time for science story time. And today is a special science story time because we're putting this up at Christmas. So Merry Christmas and happy thinking, everyone. I'm going to read you a couple of Christmas books about Christmas treats. This is Little Jack Horner. That's a traditional rhyme, which means it's so old we don't know who the first person to make it up was. Jack Horner is going to eat his Christmas pie. Do you see the holly leaves in the top of the pie? The pie is cut so it looks like holly leaves. It's not really holly leaves because holly leaves are poisonous. Don't eat holly. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner, eating his Christmas pie. Yum. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." The end. I don't know if Jack Horner was a good boy. We usually don't stick our thumbs in our food, do we? Don't know. It's not very polite. And then I have another book for you that's a Christmas book. And it's called There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Bell. And it's by Lucille Colandro. There was an old lady who swallowed a bell. How it jingled and jangled as tickled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed the bell. I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who swallowed some bells. There was an old lady who swallowed some bows. Struck the snow with those velvety bows. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bell that jingled and jangled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed the bell. I wish she'd tell. Boys and girls, did you notice how I had to go back and reread that page? When I read it, I realized it didn't make a lot of sense. So I went back and reread it to make sure I was reading it correctly. Sometimes we do that when we're reading. It's called self-correcting. There was an old lady who swallowed some gifts. It gave her a lift to swallow those gifts. She swallowed the gifts to go with the bells. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bell that jingled and jangled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed the bell. I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who swallowed a sack. It was easy to pack that great big sack. She swallowed the sack to hold of the gifts. She swallowed the gifts to go with the bows. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bell that jingled and jangled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed the bell. I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who swallowed a sleigh. What a ton it weighed, that shiny red sleigh. She swallowed the sleigh to hold the sack. She swallowed the sack to hold all the gifts. She swallowed the gifts to go with the bows. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bell that jingled and jangled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed the bell. I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who swallowed some reindeer. They were in full flight gear, those soaring reindeer. She swallowed the reindeer to steer the sleigh. She swallowed the sleigh to hold the sack. She swallowed the sack to hold the gifts. She swallowed the bows. She swallowed the gifts to go with the bows. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bell that jingled and jangled and tickled inside her. I don't know why she swallowed a bell. I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who needed a treat. She thought a candy cane would taste very sweet. But when she heard a jolly ho, 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 she knew that it was time for her to go. So she whistled loudly, and soon by her side was Santa Claus waiting for a ride. Happy holidays to all. The end. The lady didn't get a candy cane, but I have some candy canes we're going to do science with today. Did you notice there's a pattern in this book? It starts this way, and then each time we read something she swallowed, we go back and we name everything she swallowed before that. Patterns are very important to scientists. Maybe you've seen a pattern. Maybe you sorted things and you did red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. Or a big, big, little, big, big, little, big, big, little. Today we're going to do something special. We're going to sort patterns of patterns. So we're going to use candy canes because candy canes all have a pattern. They're striped. But we're going to ignore that pattern and do a different pattern. Sometimes scientists have to do that. Sometimes they look at an animal, two animals have the same pattern, so they have to look at a different difference to tell them apart. We're going to try to look at the table so we can see the pattern that I make. Okay, I'm going to start over so we can make sure we see it. Now what I'm doing is I'm making a pattern the way that the candy canes face. So the little hook part is on top or bottom. So this is top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top. And what comes next? Bottom. So, oops, that one's broken. That messes up the pattern. I'll put this one. So we have pointing to the top, pointing to the bottom, pointing to the top, pointing to the bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. So that, we had to ignore the pattern on the candy canes, so red and white stripes, and look at a different pattern because they all have the same pattern. Now we're going to do something different, and this is going to be even harder because we're going to have candy canes that are different colors. But we have to ignore that. And we have to just look at the pattern we make, and that's going to be big and little. So we have big, little, big, little, big, little. Okay, and what comes next? Big. So you see we had all different colors, blue and red and green and white and red, and we totally ignored that and made a different kind of pattern. That's really tricky to do, but it's something scientists have to do often, so it's a good thing to practice. If you have candy canes at home, you can do that, but you don't have to have candy canes. You can do it with toys, you can do it with blocks, whatever your grown-up says you can use. I had fun doing science with you today, boys and girls. Merry Christmas!